Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the launch party. It's finally happening. Thank you so much for your patience waiting a week for me to do this big fat launch party. We've got a lot of people in this room. Let me take a quick look at the chat. Oh, we got Cassie and Jeffrey and Nathaniel and Tony. Hello, everyone. Yay, Kurt. Ooh, Kurt says it's an international crowd. Randy's here. Sloan, hi, sweetheart. Hello from Japan. Okay. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome, you guys. I have so much to tell you. So without further ado, I love how the only time you ever hear without further ado is when somebody's starting a show. Like every time I go see a show, somebody comes out at the beginning and says, without further ado. What is ado? Tell me in the chat what ado is. I must know. Ado is what you're doing right now. Leland from Canada, I love you. How much do I love dialect enthusiasts?
Eliza Jane Schneider.
Eliza Jane Schneider.
And then over Skype we have...
Oh, Eliza Jane Schneider, that was my part. Right?
Eliza Jane Schneider is an actor with a remarkable ear for dialect and a near photographic memory. In the late 1990s, Eliza Jane dedicated herself to studying spoken English in America. She bought an old ambulance and set off across the country with a tape recorder, eventually recording over 1,000 interviews and traveling 317,000 miles.
And you must be Stan's sister! Oh, I think your brother's the greatest! Can you all hear me okay? Is everything going swimmingly? Is everybody seeing this here? Climb to success, craft your career presentation just fine? Yes? All right. Do you see all the little dudes in silhouette with their little ladders going up their little thing? And do you still see me? I'm down in the corner, out here on the street. All right. So, Crafting a Career 2.0, we're going to talk about demos. I am so thrilled that not only did I invent this Character Acting Academy course, but I also, it actually happened. Last summer, it was just an idea because I had so many brilliantly talented dialect masterclass students who were ready for a next step, and they needed an acting class where we could apply those dialects and accents and mad skills to copy, and I could start to introduce them to the different styles of acting and some of my colleagues, and it all happened. I had no idea what a positive response I would get to inviting so many of my professional colleagues to talk to my students. They've all been so generous.
My job here is to help point out the things that could be better.
And we've got some great videos. We're going to talk about demos, but we're first going to talk about what do you do before the demo. Number one, you got to make sure that if somebody likes your demo and casts you as a character similar to something you've done on your demo, that you are ready to compete. What does that mean? This is an incredibly competitive business. That's what everybody says, and it's true, true, true. So you have to be ready to compete. And the way that you get yourself ready to compete is to simply get in class, stay in class, and get a lot of mic time. I'm going to talk to you about some of my favorite teachers. Most of my favorite teachers are actually speaking in the Character Acting Academy, so it's a great introduction, and it kind of gets you past all the bullshit, because I know there are a lot of people out there peddling to you guys all the time about their style, their skills, their wares, but what you really want to do is you want to make sure that you're studying with somebody who does this for a living, with somebody who has the connections to help you and also just knows what it's like to be in session, like a Steve Blum or an Erin Fitzgerald or me or somebody. The best advice I ever got was my first on-camera agent, and he said, get in class and become the best actor in that class, and then get in another class and become the best actor in that class. And it's a lifelong pursuit. Number two here, know your why. Why are you doing this? We're going to talk about that a little bit more in a second. Hone your chops and expand your skill set. One of my favorite quotes from one of my students, Steve Blum, was, I've just been faking it for so long and I wanted to, know what I was doing. And when Steve came and joined us a couple years ago in class, it was just great fun to be able to work with somebody at his level. I think he won the award for the most prolific game actor in 2012 or something like 400 and some credits. And, he's still in there and he's still working hard to make sure that he's doing it right. And the casting directors are so grateful when you know what you're doing. So keep honing your chops and expanding your skill set. Be the best actor you can be and study characters. In a second here, we're going to take a little break from this here presentation and we're going to go into the dialect database. And we have, count them, 200 new dialect samples uploaded by my sweet and wonderful minions since July 31st, 2018. That's 6 months, 200 new samples, all research that I've done over the last 25 years, and it's all accessible to you guys now on the dialect database. Anybody can access www.dialectdatabase.com. And as you'll hear in a minute from Randy Thomas, and as you'll hear from some of my other colleagues, studying people, even studying other actors and studying their style is the best way to expand your own repertoire. So we always start with native speakers, and there's a lot of blurriness between dialects, accents, and character voices. It just all starts with real people. And as most of you comedians know, the more real you get, the funnier you get. So next thing you got to do is understand the industry and do your research. We're going to talk to a couple industry experts. I'm going to show you some websites I love. We've got Bob Merkel joining us, who can talk to you about VoiceZam, which is something my students introduced to me and I adore. It's a great way to get your work out there and get your demos out there. And the last thing here is know the heavy hitters and the tools of the trade. So we have these experts come into class. And it's just been this wonderful thing that I've been able to do this year as I introduced the Character Acting Academy. Instead of just doing the Dialect Masterclass, I started bringing in experts. So this year so far, we've had Dan Lenard talking about the home studio, and he has a whole thing on debunking the mythology of the home studio, and it's really wonderful. He actually is the one who came into my studio and got me hanging my mic upside down. I'd been doing this for 25 years, and I had no idea.
Mic technique. This is really, really important. Proper mic technique. Isn't it great that I just happen to have one of these sitting around? Proper mic technique requires a number of things. One, the mic should be upside down. We see all these pictures with people with headphones and they're talking, close to the mic and the pop screen and all that. All that is nonsense. It's all for visual effect. Let me just turn the lights down here just a little bit. Getting a little bit shiny here. Mic technique is really very important because it allows the microphone to hear you as other people hear you. So this is specific mic technique for voiceover. Number one, the mic is upside down, not standing up. Why? I'll show you. Number two, it should be, and we're looking at it from the side here, kids, it should be at eye level. The diaphragm, which is this guy right here, should be at eye level. By the way, if you'll notice, your ears are essentially on the same plane. It was designed that way. So you should be able to see the bottom of the mic from your eyes. Your copy goes behind and underneath. Why? Because it allows you, as voice actors, the ability to gesticulate. If the mic is like in front of you and straight like here, it cuts off all this area for that. But this allows you to have complete view of your copy. The mic becomes inconsequential. You forget that it's there, which is good. And you concentrate on your copy, what you've written down there, and your performance on that particular thing. Also, make sure when you're talking to a studio condenser mic, you talk into the side that has the pickup pattern and generally the logo of the mic that way. A lot of people will call me and say, why does it sound so muffled? And it's like, turn the mic around. You're talking to the wrong side. and don't talk into this end. I love that one. On some, dynamic mics, they look like this, and you talk into this end, but this is a studio condenser mic. And you want to be able to be, like I said, at eye level, 5 to 7 inches away, maybe even further, and your copy here, and that's all you need to do. And then forget about it. Hit record and go. There's a little bit more to it than that, obviously, but this is proper mic technique. The other reason that you do it this way is so you're not addressing the diaphragm directly on, which is why you see everybody with all these pop screens. If you use the mic like this, which is the proper way to do it, and if you've ever been in a recording studio, you'll notice this is the way they usually have them. A pop screen is primarily to prevent Celine Dion from spitting on a $10,000 microphone. Because, as you know, great performers drink a lot of water, as we should do also as voice actors, and they spit a lot. And they do use the mic really close. But as voice actors, we want to sound natural, and we don't need a pop screen. If you do it like this, you do not address the diaphragm directly on, you can say, Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, and you won't get any plosives or mic pops.
I can say Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers and not get any mic pops. So Marc Graue is also an expert in creating your demo. And he came into our class a bunch of times early in the year, and he started listening to people's demos and demo ideas. And over the course of several months, we have been generating scripts and getting people ready, once they've sort of repeated the dialect masterclass enough times to really have those character studies and springboards down, they start to be able to put them into scripts and put them into their own characters. So we're going to run one of when Corey sang Doc McStuffins as Smeagol, and Marc Graue talks about what you want to have at the beginning of your animation demo.
That'll work, but I'm missing some of the intensity, Corey, from some of your Game of Thrones stuff. You have like a real intensity, and like Smeagol is fair game for video games, right?
Is that a question or?
I think so. What do you think, Mark? Like
Sure.
Lord of the Rings characters?
Sure, why not?
Let me hear your Smeagol. Let me hear Smeagol singing Doc McStuffins just for fun.
Yay! That's not video game, but.
Do you know what's good for you? I'm gonna make you feel better. Oh, it's the place to go when you feel a little under the weather.
I mean, seriously, you guys.
And so great.
It makes you smile right away.
Now, you have, if there's your hook. If you did that on the opening of your animation demo, not video game, you gotta come here and listen, and you're in. There's the hook right there. And that's what we're talking about, doing something fun up at the top. And that makes all the right there. That's perfect. Absolutely.
That is gold. It's gold, my friend.
It is. And that's very different, and it's not that way. The whole key, if I hit play, do something that's going to be like, wow, this is amazing. Comedy, emotion, M&E, music and effect. That is something that's just like, holy shit, listen to this. Wow.
So what we're really trying to do is I'm trying to give you guys some of the highlights from classes, specifically how as it pertains to demos. Because I'm just so pleased and proud that all of these people showed up for us and started talking to us about this stuff. Are you asking the right questions? The question is not, I do voices, how do I get paid? If I hear I do voices, how do I get paid? Again, from another human, I don't know what I'm going to do. It's just, we don't do voices. I mean, most of you who are professional actors, you don't do voices, you act. You become characters. So the real question is, I'm a good actor. How do I become a great actor so I can stand out in this incredibly competitive industry and make a living doing what I love? That is a question I am happy to answer. More good questions are, why am I an actor? And is there anything else on God's green earth I can do for a living and be truly happy? So think about your happiness and think about if in fact there is anything else you can do with yourself and be truly happy. And if the answer to that is no, you're in the right place. If the answer to that is, well, I just assume be a gardener, then, certainly engage with this work, do it for a hobby, but trying to make a living at this character acting business when it's not your sole passion is kind of shooting yourself in the foot because it's just so competitive. Who else is doing this stuff? Who are their representation? Who are their agents? How do I get myself into the position that this person is in? Working character voice actors are, now I'm going to talk about you guys, because I love you. They're talented. You are experienced theater actors. You are fabulous mimics. You are comedians. You're improvisers. You're singers. And for the most part, what I love the most about this business is they're generous and compassionate people.
If you want to sound like you're smiling, put a smile on your face and it's going to come.
There's a lot to be said for being able to speak with your fellow voice actors who understand what you're going through. Your mom, your dad, the people you love in your life may not understand what you're going through, why you're doing this, how this is going to turn into a career, all of those things. But when you can talk to other voice actors who looking for an agent, I did this audition, I didn't get the job, oh, I'm so happy now that I did get the job, oh gee, how can I get my studio up? All the kinds of questions that are very specific to what we do.
You have to find your voice and be true with your voice.
We can help each other. It's part of what I call community, and one of the best things about the voiceover business is the voiceover community.
No, but I handpicked these people because I'm sure you've come in contact with the inundation of hacks out there that say that they're experts. So I just wanted to give my students some actual bona fide professionals who teach well to work with.
And just to sing your praises, I'm on a game. I'm on a lot of games, but on Mafia 3.
Oh.
I had to play a character who was from New Orleans. And
Mafia 2.
Oh, well, I was on Mafia 2, but this was Mafia 3. This is the one that took place in New Orleans.
Right. Mafia 3. Right. Sorry, I'm on another Mafia right now. They're like, anyways.
Yeah, but Eliza helped tweak my Southern to a little more of a New Orleans accent.
Yeah.
And she was a big help. And those of you who have worked with her know she is the accent goddess.
Oh, okay. All right.
There we have it.
It is rare in Hong Kong to see the fighting style your family uses. Too bad it will disappear once I turn you into ashes!
So I've been taking classes with Eliza for a couple of years now. I really think the Accents and Dialects Master class helps me as a base just to get more confident when it comes to doing different accents for characters and exploring those kind of characters instead of being really scared to attempt them or being culturally insensitive by doing them stereotypically.
Looks like you could use someone like me with that. I know the ins and outs of the factory better than the foreman himself. But you see, I haven't eaten all day and it's starting to get dark out.
I think they really helped me when we jumped into the Character Academy class because that's when we were able to put all these new techniques that we've learned through the Accents class into actual characters and building emotion.
What is it you wish to be? A powerful magician? A seductive charmer? A ruthless fighting machine? I don't know what this shot's gonna do to you, but even if I don't explain, you get the point.
She's made me feel much more confident about approaching the new class today, which we did demos all day with everybody.
I'm not quarantined here with you. You're quarantined here with me.
It's really cool to meet all of my fellow actor students and also to get to see them perform and be really inspired by them.
What should we try first? Burned, frozen, or chopped to bits? There's so many ways we can play.
I've had a really great experience and I look forward to taking more classes with her.
We've got Zach Hanks joining us from Atlanta. There he is. Hello, Zach.
Oh, hi. Can you hear me now?
Yes. How are you? It's so
I'm great, Eliza. How are you?
I'm doing great. How's Atlanta?
It's great. It's really, really great. It's nice to live like I imagine regular people live, and not like somebody scrambling in Los Angeles, 24/7, 365.
Yeah, I live outside Portland now for that very reason.
I know. How is Portland?
Portland's awesome. I just got cast in a Little Grow Shop of Horrors playing Audrey.
No kidding. That's awesome.
Green. It's somewhere that's green is totally different. Many colors that we share, completely off the grid.
Oh my God, I'd love to see it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We actually invited Bill Murray because he's my Facebook friend. Why not? Let's see. Let's see if he shows up. But Zach, do you have anything you want to weigh in on as it pertains to demos, voice exam, interactive demos, what you deal with as a casting director, listening to demos, accents on demos, just a tidbit or two?
I guess of all the things that you threw out there, I'll comment on the areas where I think I have some expertise, which I guess would be accents and dialects on demos and interactive demos in general. First off, as far as accents and dialects on demos, the only thing I can say is I don't think I've ever heard an accents and dialects demo. This like some people have a demo and like, this is my accents and dialects demo. I don't think I've ever heard one that I thought showcased the talent better than a character demo would do. And it's usually because the talent's estimation of their ability at all the accents they put on the demo is a little, they're overestimating themselves a little bit, usually on at least a couple of the accents.
Right.
And you never want, you never want anything on your demo that is not an A+. The listener never misses what you don't put on the demo. So if everything on the demo is an A+, and there's nothing on it that's lower than an A+, the takeaway for the listener is they assume that everything you do is an A+. If you're trying to blast them with quantity, you're going to end up putting something on there that's an A-. And the A+ don't pull up the A-. The A- pulls down all the A+ to an A-. And I would say it actually brings the whole demo down to a B, because it also leaves them with the message that you are inconsistent and not self-aware. As far as interactive demos, I actually last year did some market research, I guess I would say. I contacted a bunch of directors that work in interactive to find out if anything had changed in the world of game demos since the time when I was producing them, sort of quasi regularly about I don't know, 7 years ago, I guess. And the feedback I got was really striking, because the demos I produced when I was in LA for video games, I did one for Karen Strassman and one for Patrick Seitz and some other folks.
You did Karen's demo. I love Karen. I used to use her site as an example of what to do.
Yeah, and her demo was very successful at the time. And it was sort of my prototype demo. It was the first video game demo I'd ever done, and I mean, how fun to get to do it with Karen. And we were both really happy with the results. But it was done in kind of I'll call it a traditional demo style, which is highly produced, quick edits, and and colorful broad strokes and strong contrasts. And I sent that demo to these directors, along with another demo from someone, from some other producer from London.
Right.
To say, which of these demos do you think like works for you, and how and why? 100% sure that my demo was going to come out on top.
Right.
And it was the opposite. They were strongly they were strongly critical of the demo that I had done with Karen. And Karen's outstanding, and her body of work speaks for itself. I mean, it's her IMDb page goes on forever.
Right.
And there's a good reason for that. She's excellent.
Right.
But the feedback I got, and this was from Chris Borders, from Christopher Sabat in Plano.
And for those of you guys who don't know, Chris Borders is a big video game director. What are some of his projects? I did Sly Cooper with him.
I worked with him on I think Dragon Age. I think he worked on one of the Mass Effects. Gears of War was a big title for him, and
he'll teach the occasional workshop as well.
Yeah, and he's great. He's amazing people, and his longevity and knowledge is really vast. I mean, I think one of the first games that really utilized voice actors in a huge way was Baldur's Gate in the 90s, which I played and lost like a year of my life to. And Chris, and also JB Blanc, and I think one other, Randall Ryan in Austin. Okay. And the feedback was that the other demo, which was minimally produced, very little production in terms of music and effects. The tracks were long, like some of the tracks were like 15 seconds long. And the acting was subtle. It felt less like cuts of gameplay dialogue from video games and more like audio only selections from movie scenes.
Oh, lovely.
And across the board, they were saying that is what they're looking for now, because video games now are far more cinematic. They've always been pretty cinematic, but more so now than then. And so I changed tack, and I ended up doing a demo for one of my students last year. And the feedback that we got on the demo, done in this other style, minimal production, a mix of short tracks to showcase contrast, like here's my creature voice and here's my Japanese accent, and now back to showcasing my acting 101 and my Oscar moments
with a little bit of a monologue, like a little short speech. Yeah
And I wrote the dialogue, and I tried to make these thoughtful, dramatic, like the memorable scene from a movie, or the memorable moment from a movie. And the feedback we got was positive. So the style has really changed, and some of the big demo producers in LA that everybody knows are still doing it in the old style.
Yeah,
and I was really surprised.
It does work for animation. You know, when you get like that, like for something like what Corey did with singing, you know, Doc McStuffins as Smeagol. I mean, it's along the lines of what Seth MacFarlane told me on our one date to the Craft Emmys when he won an Emmy, where he told me, look, no matter what you do, I know, right? Yeah, go win an Emmy. Oh, whatever. I'll talk to your mom. But he said, you got to make them laugh in the room. And so I think with an animation demo, just getting that laugh is really important, regardless of how it's produced. You know, so I think that Marc Graue does have a point that you want to grab people's attention at the beginning of an animation demo, do something unique and different, and make them laugh. However, in your interactive, I completely agree with you that it needs to have more space, more gravitas, and engage.
One of the scenes that really stood out in the demo that I did last year in this other style was a guy in like a zombie apocalypse genre, just like sitting by a fire, like a campfire, telling the story of how he had to kill his wife after she turned.
Oh God.
And it's like I never would have thought to put that on a demo 10 years ago.
Right.
But those were the kinds of things that we put on the demo. You know, really like stuff where people can showcase their acting 101. And by their acting 101, I mean like sans showcasing their transformational abilities.
Right.
You know, just the bare bones of action, motivation, stakes, gravitas, like you said.
Thank you so much for jumping in, Zach. This is great
Absolutely.
stuff. I mean, the industry is always changing. In our class, in our demo intensive, we worked on our house minute because every agent that I talk to still wants the house minute and they don't have more than a minute to spend. So what I suggest through VoiceSam is that you have your fully, your completed thought, your little monologue, your whole speech, but then you have to cut in those little house minutes so that you have that, as well as letting your characters take a little more time and listing them separately on your site.
Yeah, VoiceSam is a great resource in that way because you can have like your demo, but also if you want to hear something specific, I got a little more of that, a little more of that.
Right,
It's a neat little insert.
Right on. Awesome. Well, everybody say bye-bye to Zach in the chat, and he's going to come back and work with us on video games as one of our industry webinar specialists soon. Time to be announced. And thanks so much, Zach. And have fun at VO Atlanta.
Thank you so much, Eliza.
Hi, I'm Jack Sneed, and I live in Los Angeles. Wait. You think you're gonna challenge me? Brother, you're way too small to be a god. Why, look at me. I am a specimen of a warrior. What do you possibly think you can do to me that can... Hey! What do you do to my voice?
Dedicated, resilient, and tenacious are as important as talent. These are things you're going to need throughout your career, and you need to be in it for the long haul. If this is you, stay on board. I got some tips. Perhaps you gave up on your dreams early in life, but have reached a turning point and are committed to now pursuing your true love of acting. Great. Welcome. Perhaps you are already a voice actor, but you just love character work so much and you want your agent to start submitting you for more animation and games and the fun stuff, but they're not taking you seriously yet. Taking the Dialect Masterclass and starting to hone your skills can really help you move in your agent's eyes from one place to the other. And just, folks, you got to love it, live it, and breathe it. So the steps to crafting a career. Notice demos is number 6. So number 1, develop your skill set, get in class, stay in class to be the best you can be. The military is not going to make you the best you can be. Class is going to make you the best you can be. Number 2, identify your strong suits. Which characters are you great at? Do you do great little girls? Do you do little boys? Which dialects are your strong suits and which ones need more work? Are you more a dramatic actor? Do you lean towards video games and interactive? Do you lean towards the soap operas when you're doing on-camera stuff? Or are you more a comedic sitcom actor? Do you lean toward animation? Learn the equipment, the tools of the trade, dial in your home studio, know your industry and your competition, find the experts and study them. Discover your brand, what makes you unique. We're going to take a look at Sarah Kramer's Conlangs video pretty soon, but that was a great way for me to use in my mentoring program to introduce her to people at Lucasfilm and the people who do that stuff, and it really sparked their interest. Are you particularly good at singing? You know, if you, Tiffany Kalana just made Disney character voices demo of just singing and voice matches for Disney character voices. So now I can send that on over to Renee Johnson and Ben Hoppy over at Disney Character Voices, maybe Ned Lott, and it will really make you stand out. So really hone in on what your brand is. So then the next thing, after you know all these 5 things about yourself and about your studio, create your demos. You create your demos. You're going to constantly be honing your skill set. You're going to stay in class and you're going to practice your craft. So let's talk a little bit about demos. When you start to do your demos, you have to do your commercial demo first. Why is this? Jeff Danis, who is my first agent out here in the great L of A at ICM, he won't take on a character actor doesn't really believe in it. I was sitting next to him on the panel at the Business of Character Voices at Comic-Con last summer. And, he reiterated his policy of, if you want to have me represent you as a character actor, you need to first be a real actor. And more power to them, people who can convincingly do commercials. And to me, that dominatrixes and CIA agents are the real actors. People who can get up in front of a camera and sell something that they couldn't possibly care less about. That's where the real acting chops come in. So you really want to have that compelling, convincing commercial demo first. And that is your first calling card. And then you start to show your range to your agent. Animation is the second demo that you're going to do. And I want to talk to you a little bit about what you do next. Why don't you do a character demo? A lot of people say, oh, can I just do a character demo? And while you can, the trend of late is to have an animation demo and a separate gaming or interactive demo. And if you guys go on to CESD's website and you go and you look into the scale talent, you'll see that there are only 3 women of their, dozens of women who do scale animation that have interactive demos, and that really makes them stand out. So having that separate demo, that's your interactive demo, really helps the game directors get what they want. Of course, generally speaking, animation and games are 2 completely different styles of acting. You've got, in video games, you want that natural read, it's subtle. That's where your dialects and accents are going to come in and really help you. And you're gonna be going for the Oscar. In animation, you want to be going for the laugh. It's broad, it's comedic, it's a very different style of acting.
Hey, this is Sarah Kramer. I'm a working voice, on camera, and stage actor.
Hutties, bounty hunter having trouble with her quarry.
Chupa! Kula tuchuta! Move the bunkiri slagwa. Jusco do suke kupa moinanya. Kibatu batu. Bosca. Nucha.
Eliza Jane Schneider is amazing. I began training with her in 2016. She's a master of accents and dialects and characters.
Ewokese, visiting a new village.
Oh, Opa Nupa! Chiha, Michu Nabi Wota! It's a woman! It's a woman! Botna Pamuk! Ichoya! Yup yup! Chiha, Tupa Vekona! Iha!
And her methods really work, if you do the work.
Jawaese, haggling over a sand crawler.
Ushabia Kridaza Nanda Kikuri. Otini! Ooh, iti wanawa! Yukusu kansakina. Wa! Mablu? Ooh, mkasha! Ooh, banya!
She wants her students to have a successful career in voiceover, so she shares her knowledge and her connections in the industry.
BOCCE, rookie pilot on her first solo flight.
Metexit e Starchars o Quadrux. Tuesday Jimuggy Hyperspace. Motex Loris Samic Larhitas. Oh, he's a goth! Double Amina Hex Comax! BTs!
Dupilia Puka!
Oh. And when she says her student's success is her success, she really means it.
Mandoa, speaking to the clan.
Alit Orish Yataldin Mandoade. Misolus Tome. Misolus Dar Tome. Saki Ram now Trashin Kad Vodean. Ji Gratua Bachutun!
Train with Eliza. It will be invaluable.
And we have, again, Bob Merkel joining us. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. What a pleasure to be with you. This is great.
I know, right? And congratulations on VoiceSam. I have been waiting for 20 years for a medium such as VoiceSam to show up where people can actually access the exact thing that they need. And, you know, Amanda Wyatt and Renee Johnson and, you know, Chris Borders and all of my friends who are casting people who have to deal with, I mean, now that I've started to help some of my students put their demos together, honestly, there are only so many Russians, pirates, and, you know, villains and witches and princesses you can hear in a row over and over and over in 10-second increments before you just start like,
Yeah,
you know.
I was a producer, and I listened to thousands of demos, and that's how VoiceSam came about, out of frustration because the process was bad.
Yeah,
still is in a way, but we're fixing that.
So tell everybody about the special Eliza Jane promotion that you have just for my students. But wait, before we do that, I just want to give people a little history here. When I was studying the South Park voices, before I landed that job, I was studying Mary Kay Bergman. And what I thought was really brilliant about her demo 20 years ago was it was a CD with 39 tracks on it. And so she had her little girl voices, she had her singing little girl voices, she had her little boy voices. Then she had 20 different voice matches, including a brilliant version of Helen Twister. Oh my God. Who's the one in Twister? Not Helen Hunt. It's the blonde that my brother had a crush on. Anyways, it'll come to me. Somebody in the chat tell me who this person is. Anyways, it was just so cool to me that she was able to like separate all the tracks and give casting directors something they could just click on exactly what they needed. So tell us a little bit about VoiceSam and tell us about our little promo.
Okay, so you're right. The industry missed a golden opportunity when the CDs came out. And what they did is they put the commercial composite demo with all its tracks on one track. It should have been done exactly the way you said, Eliza Jane.
Right.
So I can share my screen, right? Let's give that a shot.
Yes, you guys, it is Helen Hunt.
Compare your voice over player.
Right, I see that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to take you through a quick 30-second demo of why VoiceSam is critically important to the industry. So I was a producer. I listened to 1,000 demos. Here's what I would do. I would listen to the first track.
It's shiny. It's blue.
Is that too loud?
No.
Okay. And you'd hear the first track. You say, this is Bob Sauer, by the way, who graciously lets me use his demos. You say, that's a great voice, but I don't like that particular delivery. I want to move on. So I sit there and wait and wait and wait. And finally, there's the next track. So here's what we've done. We've refined the process to make it so easy for your buyers. So here's VoiceSam down here.
It's shiny.
Love the voice, don't like the delivery.
The #1 prescribed allergy
That's
medicine
okay.
is so watch the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Like that.
The legend is real.
Really like that one. Let me go back here.
Watch the Super Bowl on Sunday.
See the process? See what's happening? We have just cut the producer's time fractional.
Yeah.
And they can jump to the tracks that they like. So that's the essence of the VoiceSam player. There's much more to it than that, and I won't go into it tonight. But I'd love to show you the features and that sort of thing. It's all on our website, and we expand from that. There's a way you can get analytics. So when I did all those clicks, that talent, well, it's Joey Speakeasy, it's our little test talent, he would be getting all the analytics of how long I listened, when I played, what I played, and where I was playing it from. That's great. We have video built in. We have something called Straight Shot, which is a way that you can send out your demos directly from your emails. So all that's on our website. It's under the features. Now, let me tell you about the promo. We are offering people who sign up using the Eliza Jane promo for a 30-day trial. That's double the time that they usually have. So 30 days, you get to try it, all the features for free. You can load it on your website. You can try all the features. You can see the analytics. You can send out your demos. You can book jobs on us if you want during that free trial. Just to give you a sense, because VoiceSam is very different. It's very different than the traditional demo. And it introduces a whole new level of flexibility for your buyers. And that's where it should be, right? You want to make it as easy for them to intake your voices as much as possible. This is great for character work because you can just jump through all the voices and they can download individual tracks if they want. So that's it. And that's the promo. The way you sign up is go to voicesam.com, click on the membership tab. I'll take you right. Well, never mind. You'll have to use your mind's eye for this. Go to the membership tab, enter Eliza Jane in the promo code, 30 days for you instead of 50.
No space, right? Eliza Jane.
No space. One
Okay.
word.
Perfect,
One
yeah.
complete word.
So you guys should try it out. But you know, a lot of things are going on in the chat here, and I just want to reiterate, yes, you guys are all correct. You should definitely have your commercial demo all compiled into a house minute and your dialect demo, or whichever one, you know, your animation and your interactive. Do that. It's still the industry standard, but the industry is crossing over and it's becoming a much easier thing to navigate, and I'm just a huge fan. So that's my little plug for VoiceSam. He's not paying
Thank
me.
you so much. What a pleasure to be with you. This is a great webinar, you guys. And by the way, are your PowerPoint slides available? Because all that stuff is gold and people really need to review that at least once a week and keep them on track.
Yeah. I'll make these slides available. All y'all are on my little list now, and I plan on sending all the videos that we haven't been able to get to tonight in email, and I'll send you guys the little slides and tidbits and stuff. No worries. Thank you. All right. See you later, Bob. Thanks for coming.
Hi, my name is Laraine Newman, and I've known Eliza actually for many years, but I was recently her student. I had a job to read a book on tape, and there were a lot of dialects within the book, and I have never had anybody give me such creative and practical and effective assistance with these dialects. She's really gifted as a teacher, and I would recommend her to anybody who needs to even learn a dialect from the very beginning, the ground floor, or to just polish and perfect an existing dialect that you know. She's number one.
No, you're number one, Laraine Newman. I love her, and the fact that I got to coach her was like one of the pinnacles of my existence. Okay, once you have your commercial demo, then you do your animation demo, then you do your interactive demo. Then you can start thinking about other things like promo and trailer, audiobooks, and narration. They're all very different. Just wanted to add a couple little tidbits here. When I first broke in, I produced my animation demo for under $100. So it is possible to do it yourself, but it's really helpful to have somebody rooting for you who knows what to listen for. A lot of my students don't know what their strong suits are. So find somebody to help you out and coach you through producing your demo. Randy's going to talk about that a little bit here.
I think no matter what area of voiceover you're trying to achieve, your place, you know, find your place, find your voice, you just have to put the blinders on and go for it and do the best you can. And I'll tell you, it's taken me a lifetime to not care about what people think.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I think.
But at the same time, when you create a demo, you're focusing on what people are going to think of how it sounds. So it's a delicate balance.
Well, but the buyers, not my peers. You know what I mean? You're focused on what the buyers are looking for. And hopefully for anyone, even I'm a coach, but I would never be arrogant enough to think I can make my own demo. You know, I can assemble things I've done and create something out of work that I've done, but that's not the same as going in and creating a demo. So that has to be done in partnership with someone that is rooting for you. I really believe that if you find that place where you hear your voice and you're like, if I'm going to do promo, I want to be on this channel, and start listening, start writing those promos down, read them on your own, and see if you can emulate a sound and a read that is similar to what you hear on these channels. that's a start. Study with people who can teach you these kinds of reads. And the younger reads are always going to be a combination of what Eliza and great animation teachers give you. And that is the ability to tap into characters and to dialects and specific types of voices.
Okay, so we have so much to cover, not very much time left. But I wanted to just give you one more little tidbit from Randy, and then we're going to show off some of the new Dialect Masterclass, Character Acting Academy, student demo.
Listen, nothing can ever replace mic time. Mic time, mic time. Do it often, practice.
Okay, we are going to do a one-day character acting workshop for those of you who really want to get into the Character Acting Academy but can't necessarily make a 10-month commitment to handle like the whole mentoring thing. The one-day character acting workshop, no audition necessary. All you need is a computer with internet access, a camera, and a dedicated mic. The class limit is 8 students. I direct you in character development, acting, accent, perfection, and audition techniques. It's 9 a.m. PST till noon, or Eastern Standard. It's going to be 1 to 4, and this will tell you exactly what date it's happening. It's the first time I've ever done this. It's a really cheap entry point. It's $215. Get in, get your feet wet, and see if this is something that you want to do. I am going to remove this in 10 seconds. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you are 100% sure that you want to join the Character Acting Academy, we are launching again. And I am going to remove this. So quickly click on it if you guys want it to open up. I think it opens up in another window. So you'll be all set if you click on it. And then you'll have it on your mark. Get set. I'm going to show you something else. The second thing you can do is you can get into the Dialects and Accents Masterclass. And if you sign up right now during this webinar for the Dialects and Accents Masterclass, which most of the people whose demos you are about to hear have taken this class repeatedly. You guys who are new, the best way to get into class is to get into the Dialects and Accents Masterclass. And if you sign up right now, you get an actual 1-hour session with me, which I don't tend to ever do, but I'm doing it now. So, and I usually charge $850 because I'm a mom and I just don't have time. But so yeah, if you do this right now, go ahead and click the link. It'll tell you all about it. I am going to remove this in 10 seconds. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then the last thing here is I'm going to show you the Professional Character Acting Academy. This is the thing that all the people that I am showing you demos for have done. It is freaking fabulous. You get 8-week advanced 2-hour on the mic character acting class, which is the most fun thing of all time. I've had so much fun with you guys. I've been able to introduce people to local employers, and people have gotten agents, and it's just really exciting. Let me just tell you the other things that are in this. So you get, you're also going to get a deep dive elective in the world accent of your choice, a survey course, accents for your audition type, full access to all the industry webinars, email access to me for 10 months. And if you join during this webinar, you're going to get that bonus private 1-hour coaching session with me. The total value comes to nearly $10,000, but it's only $24.95 like it was last summer. And we have a promo code. If you type in this promo code when you go to that offer, which should still be showing, you can get 20% off. So you get basically $500 back. And if you can't afford the full $19.95 to get involved today, you can do 10 payments. And it's a 10-month mentoring program. You get your monthly webinars with the industry professionals. And so maintaining access to me and maintaining access to this whole network over the course of 10 months makes those payments easy to stomach, I think.
Can you not see that I am sane and earnest? That I am no raving lunatic? I am your sister, imploring you to defend my honor at trial.
I remember reading about that creature in my dad's demon book. Never thought I'd see one. If we can somehow lure it into the basement, we can trap it until we figure out how to send it back home.
The infected from Ho Chi Minh City are attacking the schools and the hospitals. I'm trying to suppress the artificial virus because it seemed to be the base of the infection. Dragons can be fierce and dangerous, but these ancient creatures only approach those with great potential.
I
need you to get a new transponder from the lower east storage room and attach it to the satellite. Remember this code to activate the distress signal.
What should we try first? Burned? Frozen? Or chopped to juicy bits? There's so many ways we can play.
There is a poison in my blood, in my soul, which will destroy all Kyoto. When I have become so changed, you must promise me you will kill me.
Now remember, she's known for anime, but we wanted to expand her horizons a little bit.
Eliza, have I shared my desperation theory with you?
No, please share it.
My Hollywood desperation theory.
Okay.
Entertainment is a business where billions of dollars are bet on absolute intangibles. Nobody knows what makes something a hit. Nobody knows what makes something successful. Nobody knows what talent is.
Right.
But we all need to know, or at least are told we need to know. You know, and not just us, the producers, the casting people, everybody looking for magic.
Right.
And nobody has a spell book.
Right.
So what happens is you have everyone in a constant state of fear.
Yes.
Because, hey, casting person, your job depends on bringing us the perfect person for this part.
Right.
And we're not going to tell you who it is or how they will be perfect.
Right.
So that person is full of, you know, anxiety. Now, if you, as an actor, come in and seem desperate, I really need this role. If I get this role, it'll change my life. Please give me the role that you're holding on to. You mirror that casting director's desperation.
Right.
And double it.
And you get that equal and opposite reaction.
She hates you for that.
If you reflect their fear and anxiety, they hate you for that. We're going to send some of these fabulous videos and tidbits and tips and highlights from class out in our emails. Again, as usual, I over-deliver here. All right, guys. So I'm going to share my screen with you one last time here. I'm going to take you through the websites for the various courses that we got going on. This is the Character Acting Academy. It's at characteractingacademy.com. Returning students have a super special deal, as they always will, along with their special place in my heart. New students, this is where you audition. If you sign up now through the link that's in the chat that Caleb keeps putting up, and also through the offer that's on the webinar, you will get your 20% discount. You'll get your bonus session with me. And if for some reason you don't make it in when you audition, you will get a full refund. But chances are, if you're ready to go, we will be ready for you as well. So this site, Character Acting Academy, lists all the cool new dialect electives that we're going to be putting in this year that are included in your Character Acting Academy membership. And we're going to be doing a deep dive in Irish and Scottish coming up very soon here. So keep your emails open. And then here's just a list, just a tip of the iceberg for some of the amazing guest instructors and webinar leaders that we have coming up down the pike here, and that we have archived for you on demand. So I know I'm going through this pretty quickly, but I want to make sure that you guys see this. And here, dialectmasterclass.com is where you can get a free training webinar if you haven't done it yet. It's 90 minutes, and it describes my whole looping method, my 3-prong method for learning or losing any dialect or accent. And this is how you can get into that class with me, which is a great introductory way to sort of build your chops. And this tells you all about that. So I want you to go ahead and make a bookmark of that. It's dialectmasterclass.com.
No, I'm a new superhero. Call me the Superlative. The Superlative. It means outstanding. Amazing.
You're way too small to be a god.
Maybe not.
Your world has come to an end, for I am the Abyss. Look upon me and despair.
Open your eyes. You live in a world built on fantasies, psychological warfare in the form of advertising, mind-altering chemicals in the form of food.
There will be no conversion for us. If the tribal leaders want to know whether we are circumcised,
We can open our fans for that and negotiate.
I can't believe Beth chose to go out on a date with me. She's a human. What if she doesn't like the way I eat?
Welcome to Wild Help. We fix your heartbeat, we cure your heartbreak, snake your toilet, scrub your coffins, parallel parking, no problem. Finding lost keys, delivering hot food, math help, potty training, and all we do is help.
So guys, I want you to notice that exactly what Zach Hanks said to do, we did with Jack Sneed's amazing animation demo. You know, he had those two accents. He had Jamaican and he had one of the African accents. And it's just, when you really can nail something esoteric and spot on like that, it lets everybody know that you can do the rest. You don't have to have 500 different dialects. You just want to, on your character, you know, your animation or your interactive, you can have your list of dialects separately, but if you have two really amazing ones, it's way better than having like 11 different ones that are, you know, maybe some that other people can also do. So let's do a couple more new student demos. Let's do Josh. I'm going to actually play him from my end here. And let's listen to Josh Click's animation versus his new interactive.
Dude, we're going to go out there, beat up some bad guys, and look awesome while doing it.
I'm going to hurt you. Really?
Oh, sweet mystery of life, at last I found this. Is not Sophia's house, is it?
You had to learn the hard way, didn't you, Sprout? I told you not to pee on the electric fence!
Ah! That shouldn't be too hard to calculate. Just take the 10, carry the 1, and... Wait, what was the question?
With my trusty saber of suffering, you will bow down to me! Stop laughing!
I'll just step in the back and slip into something cooler. You stay put, sugar.
Okay, and yes, that last sample was in fact still Josh Click. So now we're going to go right into Josh's new, spanky new interactive demo so you guys can hear the different style.
What were those things in the temple? The sounds they made, almost inhuman. You keep cleaning up after everyone, Captain. No one's going to learn to take care of themselves. They'll start to rely on you. And if something happens to you, then what? You cannot beat Yamashiro! He always wins! Princess, I apologize for not being able to accompany you further. Even so, I do not regret my choice.
I know he's out there. I can see his beady little eyes moving from bush to bush. You can't fool me, varmint.
With all due respect, this channel is not for communication with the captain of the Icarus, sir. It's against the rules, but I'll do it for you.
You've given a splendid accounting of yourself, mon ami. But alas, it's time to end our combat and bid you adieu. Permanently.
Awesome! All right, so you guys can hear the different style, and I think Josh did an amazing job. We talked about how to build kick-ass demos. We talked about what to do with your kick-ass demos once you have them, how to put them up and make them accessible and available. And we also talked about networking personalities and preferences of casting directors, agents, and studios. One of the ones I forgot is Linda LaMontagne. If you ever get an audition for her, you're going to want to do a straight read as written first. Then you're going to want to improvise. Short improvisation has to be funny, has to make her laugh. Don't go on and on and on with your improv. Confidence, the secrets to keeping up your chops while keeping your chin up. That is all about staying in class, getting mic time, and getting support from your peers. Professional etiquette, competing and working with the VOA list. I am going to send you guys emails about this because we have more videos from EG and from Debbie and Fred and Phil and talking a lot about these things. And we did talk about the 5 biggest mistakes voice actors make. So last thing, I want to make sure that you guys all have the information about this offer and that you take advantage of it now. Well, I think we only have 5. As of the beginning of this webinar, we actually only had 5 spaces left in the new Character Acting Academy. So if you're interested, register, audition, and we will see you in class. What a fabulous time I had. Thank you guys so much for coming. And I can see in the chat, oh, we've got our offers up. There's the Academy one. And let me just show you one more time for those of you who are like, oh, I really, really want to do this, but I only have one day. Here is that last opportunity to join the one-day intensive EJ's one-day character acting workshop. That was my big secret that I didn't tell anybody that I was doing. So I hope you guys learned something today. Did you? Let me know in the chat. So good night, everybody. Have a fabulous night. We had so much fun compiling all of these videos. And we have so many more videos and tidbits and tips and stuff to share. I did promise that I would show some of the new people my video games demos.
No rest for the wicked.
I weep for what might have been. You and I, side by side, wielding the power of the crystal. But there can only be one hero.
I will orchestrate your demise! Why, you filthy, backstabbing, two-timing scoundrel! Anyway, why don't you take one of your vehicles out for a spin and collect some gear bits so I can get you all calibrated and whatnot?
My painted petals. What time's it?
It's late, Rosemary.
It's yours. From that day we found you, drifting at sea.
Where are you taking me? Let me go!
Imagine New Vegas if there was no Mr. House-type fella keeping the peace. Then give everybody a gun and a jet addiction.
I'm not worried about me. Besides, it's only natural for a mother to worry about her children.
Grima Wormtongue, they call him. And while he poisons the king's mind, the land falls into neglect. In the western net stand 3 watchtowers, and I fear their latest reports have gone astray.
The Templars seem to want it pretty bad all of a sudden. They must know something we don't.
Do
me a favor and don't step on me, alright?
We'll meet again soon enough. In the meantime, I have other guests to attend to.